horrible pleasure.
Do you have any parting words? You have 1 minute.
I have a beautiful 13-year-old daughter, a beautiful 11-year-old son, a gorgeous 6-year-old little girl, and a 2-year-old baby girl. 3 girls and a boy. 3 of them have autism, except the oldest one, and we will get them the help they need, and we will no longer rely on the legal system. We will do it our way, and only a mother knows the right way. And we will get to this. We will get there.
We're tired of following illegal orders, frankly.
Coalition against legal abuse. This is what they do when they don't have access to their wives anymore. Then they go to the legal system and they continue abusing even more. Just Google it. You'll find all this garbage up there. Take a deep breath. Focus.
Yes, now we take action with our feet. Now we go to Mr. Obama's house and we post our signs on his lawn and we say hello to the Secret Service on the roof.
Yes, they can take our kids, they can take our houses, they can take our virginity, they cannot take our brain, and they cannot take our smiles away. And these are the 2 things I walked out of that house a year ago. I took it with me and I'll have it forever.
From your lips to God's ears. Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of America. Today is May 8th of 2011, and we are part of history. And we do hope that President and Mrs. Obama are having a wonderful Mother's Day and she's able to share it with her children. But sadly, in the United States of America, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of us wonderful mothers who have been torn from our children through the family courts or child protective services. But we do hope that one day justice will prevail and we are reunited with our children and this national scandal is exposed and people are held accountable. And we just want our children back and we just want to be moms.
That's right.
Celebrate Mother's Day with our children.
Let's go park on Mr. Obama's front lawn.
That's right.
That's
History in the making.
That's right.
And we are mothers of lost children, but sadly, they're lost, but they were legally kidnapped from us through the family courts.
That's right.
Yes, yes. And we know that one day justice will prevail. And with the Sachs v. Sachs case that just got filed in the United States Supreme Court on May 6, 2011.
Woo-hoo! Yes.
Yes, it will.
And thanks to all of American mothers and all the advocacy groups.
Happy
Thanks to Eric Holder of the Department of Justice who asked the question when he addressed the Summit on Domestic Violence, and he said, why are battered mothers losing custody of our children? Well, Mr. Holder, we would be delighted to have a meeting with your office and we can tell you exactly why and answer your question. And thanks to the Office of Violence Against Women, Catherine Pierce in 2008 when she addressed the Senate Judiciary, when she also asked the question and said, she said, battered mothers losing custody of their children in the United States of America is a problem and it's an epidemic, and the perpetrators getting custody. So we thank you for hearing us, and we would love the opportunity to sit down and tell you our stories.
Make sure everybody gets a chance to get here, and maybe about a half an hour we'll go ahead and get in a semicircle in the street and we'll pass a bullhorn down one by one and let every mother speak out. You know, say what she wants to say. Yeah, you don't have to, but if you want to. And we'll just be there in vigil or else marching back and forth between the 2 drive-thrus on the White House sidewalk. And when it starts getting dark, we'll light the candles. Okay, let's see how the signs come along.
All right, I don't know if we have enough people for all the signs.
Just okay.
Hey, Joy.
Let's go on the end of it. Okay.
It's fine.
Wow, it's really a
You're not
nice
going to treat
rain.
it with some of the same.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers of America.
Happy Mother's Day, Linda.
One day justice will
Ricky. Can I get you 2 t-shirts?
Huh?
Can I get you some t-shirts? You and your little one?
Oh, sure.
All right. 2 sizes. What sizes?
In front of their sign.
I don't know.
Small and
Yeah, I guess she's maybe a medium. I don't know.
medium and 2 mediums?
I'll be a large.
homes, it takes our life, it takes everything. I also think about the Civil War, and we have a war, and we have, on one side we have the judges, the social workers, all those agencies, the non-for-profit, everything that look for money, and the other side we have children, mothers, and the vulnerable, and it's a civil war, and we don't know. I also think about the plague, and we have all those big leeches, the judges, the doctors, the lawyers, the social worker, and they're just taking everything from us. They take our health, they take our money, they take our heritage.
Today is Mother's Day. But millions of mothers around the country are spending it without their children because the children were stolen. And the reason why is because the children said they were being harmed. When the mothers tried to protect them, the judges, guardian ad litem, and the paraprofessionals who have no background in abuse try to silence the mothers by threatening them, putting them in jail, telling children, if you say another thing about your dad, I'll put you in foster care, and they take their money. These women lose their jobs, they have to file bankruptcy, and some of these women put on the street simply for doing what is legal, and that is called reporting suspicion of abuse. These are women from all walks of life, many professional women, psychologists, nurses, social workers, teachers, who are court-mandated reporters. And yet when they do their job, they are punished for it. And in this country, we should not be silencing people because we want the law to be followed. And all of this is about money. A lot of people are making lots of money. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Health and Human Services are helping to fund pedophiles and ex-felons in getting children under their care. And they're silencing the protective parent who's trying to keep the child safe. This needs to stop. And we have a case going to the Supreme Court. And for the 9 justices, please take a look at this case. This is important. And if you kick this back, it will come back in another form. This is not going away. The
Yay.
mothers are done being silent.
Yay. Yay.
I am here today to support the mothers who are fighting the battle for their children. There is no better one to keep their children with them except the mother. The mother knows what is best for their children. Even I myself, I'm here without my children for a couple of Mother's Day now without them. But by the hope of God, I know that I will be with them someday soon.
Thank you. Thank you. Say a few words. Pull the trigger and put your lips up close to there.
I'm here to support the mothers who have lost the children to their batterers. Please give the children back to their mothers. There cannot be a happy Mother's Day without the children. And without the mothers, there is no life. Mother gives life to the children, both to the boys and to the girls. Give back the children to their mothers.
Yay.
Happy Mother's Day. I'm here to support the mothers of lost children. We are here to plead with the President to stand with mothers that have lost their children to molesters and abusers. Because right now the court is a cash register and our children are up to the highest bidder. Give back the children to loving, protective mothers where they belong, and not to molesters and pedophiles. Thank you.
Thank you.
Should be standing in front of the White House. The White House should be ashamed of what's taking place in our country. This is the greatest country in the world, and the president and the people that run the courts allow children to be violated, to be given to child molesters, rapists, and to suffer every day of their life, to have to live and be raped and beaten and molested. And the mothers have to stand there and try to help and be put in jail and be made out of their minds and suffer. This is a sin against our society. On Mother's Day, it must stop every day and Mother's Day. And the people in the White House need to look at it and see what we're doing to our children, that we're selling them off into human trafficking, that we're taking them away from their protective mothers, punishing them by the batterer that doesn't want to leave his slave. So give the children back to their mothers now.
And to all the mothers out there that don't have their children, especially, we're thinking of you, and God has blessed you all.
Happy Mother's Day, and I just want to say, women and children first. Mother and child, hear their cries of injustice.
Happy Mother's Day to all of the wonderful mothers all across the United States of America. And as we stand here today, you're watching history being made. We are standing up for the 58,000 children a year who are court-ordered by our family courts to live with an abusive parent. We are asking the President and the First Lady, and we want to thank them for addressing this issue. Mothers everywhere in family courts and child protective services are losing custody of their children. If you think the United States Supreme Court on Friday, the Sachs v. Sachs case that addresses this very issue, we will never stop asking for our children back, and we want these violations of our constitutional rights to the care, custody, and nurture of our children. We want our children back, and we will never ever stop. Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day, America. I am here from New York representing the Orthodox Jewish community. There isn't a single Jewish mother in New York that ever got custody of her children after speaking out about sexual abuse. 1 in 4 children are being sexually abused in the Jewish community. If you speak about it, they take your children away because they want to shut you up. I will not stay silent. I have 4 innocent, beautiful children, and they are stuck with their abusive father. And when I opened up my mouth, they took my children from me, including an 11-month-old nursing baby. I have not seen my children in 1 year. I will stay here until somebody does something. Thank you and happy Mother's Day.
My son was taken from me. Full custody was awarded to abusive father. I will never stop fighting. Never.
It's not correct when you can buy a child simply because you have representation. If the other person doesn't have representation, it doesn't mean they're not fit. You can be a healthy and fit mother and not have any history of mental health issues or drug issues or any prior arrests, and yet you lose custody to a father who has a history of drug abuse and alcohol abuse and arrests simply because he has money to pay the most expensive attorneys in the state, if not the nation. It is not correct that a child should be bought simply because one parent can afford high-priced attorneys and the other parent can't. Everybody should have equal and level playing fields when it comes to talking about who should have custody and where your child resides. Please give us a thought. All the mothers, please imagine that you can lose custody simply because the father of your child has more money to litigate than you. And don't try to litigate on your own because judges do not like that.
My son was given to my abuser 795 days ago, and I haven't seen my son since. The courts knew that he abused me, and they handed sole custody to my abuser. And that's the last I saw of my son. The courts are handing children over to abusers and leaving mothers in the dust. And this has got to stop. They've got to stop funding, taking children away from mothers and giving them to abusive fathers. And the federal government is paying for this through Fatherhood Initiative funds. I went to a Fatherhood Initiative group and they refused to help me because I'm a mother, not a father. Give us back our children. Save our children from our abusers. Our children are being raped and they're not being saved.
Thank you.
My name is Marcy. I founded Massachusetts Protective Mothers for Custodial Justice, which is a non-profit advocacy organization for battered mothers in Massachusetts. And I am honored to be here in support of mothers without custody. Mothers with custody imprisoned by joint custody court orders with abusers, and in support of all mothers raising awareness of the human rights violations of women and children victims of a failed fatherhood initiative. As an organization working on the ground in the trenches of our court system, I deliver this state of the Commonwealth from the perspective of protective mothers in Massachusetts. The system is not broken. There is no recognizable justice system in Massachusetts for mothers and their children, where abuse has necessitated a protective mother's attempt to escape harm with her children. Domestic violence battering is the epitome of inequality. When a woman leaves a toxic relationship, she must not be required to invest her vulnerable children in the rehabilitation of a parent who has harmed them. Children should not be split in two interests in the interest of equality. Children and their mothers should be protected. Equal responsibility must translate to safety and security. Fatherhood initiatives are funding never-ending abuse of mothers and children in our courts. Women are dying. Children are being brutalized and murdered. How many and how long will it take before you see the initiatives to involve brutal men with families attempting to escape the brutality? It's just insane, but it risks the safety of entire households, communities, cities, and our country.
My mother fights to protect me from my dad.
Excellent sign.
I have to say, we're here for the second year in a row in front of the White House, trying to raise awareness about the horrific crisis going on in the family courts. And we'll be here every year until we see change. But, you know, in the last year we have briefed the White House, we've met with the Department of Justice, Office on Violence Against Women. They're aware of the crisis and committed to working with advocates to try to come up with solutions. So it's going to be a long uphill battle, but it's great to see so many mothers out here on Mother's Day honoring their children despite the fact that they can't be with them, and finding community with each other. And that's what Mother's Day is all about. It's really about staying committed to the children and to peace and speak out against violence, and that's what's happening in the family courts. They're placing children with violent perpetrators, and safe, loving, protective mothers are being denied the opportunity to spend this precious day with their kids. So there's nowhere else that I would rather be than with the moms here who are fighting so hard in honor of their children and working so hard day in and day out to protect them. So it's good to see everybody out here.
And tell me why you're here.
We are here to support all the mothers that they need to recover their children.
Right now I have my kids back for a year and a half. I lost my 4 grandkids. ¿Verdad, papi?
Yes.
Through the IFETs. Así que now I have it back. Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
¿Verdad, papi?
Welcome home. Children should be seen, heard, believed, and protected.
Yes.
Trying to celebrate moms and also
Would you like to say a few words? Tell me, why did you come here today?
I came here today for justice for the children. I just believe that they have a right to have their moms in their lives. And I don't understand why the leadership and the government is prohibiting us from being around our children. We were good enough to give birth to them. We're not good enough to raise them. Wait a minute. Doesn't every judge come from a mother? Doesn't every attorney come from a mom? We all had an input in their lives. How would they like to be ripped away from their moms? Not ever see those moms again. It's the same here. Now put them at age 5. Put every judge at age 5 and tell them, no, you cannot see your mommy. You cannot. You cannot have a birthday with her. You cannot share Christmas or Hanukkah. You can't do any of that with her. How would that make them feel? And they're going to grow up and be wonderful citizens of the United States of America? I wonder. Where's the justice for them? And that's all. That's why I'm here today. I don't think a child should be ripped away from their parent. Not any parent. And an abuser, they shouldn't even have, an abuser should not even be anywhere close to a child. We have laws against pedophiles that are down the street. But that's okay if you put them in the same household as that parent that does that. It's questionable. I question.
Don't let the courts
hurt
children anymore.
That's okay, Grandma. Can you tell me why you're here today?
Well, this is her mom,
Yes.
and
Yeah, I understand. I thank you for coming today very, very much. Same thing happened to my little boy.
It happened to all of us.
I would be grateful if you could just a couple sentences.
well, anyway, they were living in California, and Kern County, Bakersfield, Kern County, which is the most corrupted, county in California. And she was illegally taken from mom, and mom went to jail. And so I live in Maine. We had to come and bail her out. It took a lot of money to get the court to reverse the ruling, and we still haven't finished. We're still fighting. And but both of them are now suffering from severe PTSD and in counseling. Yeah. And so we're here to support the cause.
I think
hopefully we'll get some justice very soon. And hopefully somebody there will hear us, and we can bring justice to the innocent children.
And just like 3 years ago, they took her away. We moved through victim witness to Maine, and then we went back for a holiday visitation hearing, and the judge, who was a former DA who let her dad also walk away from criminal charges for throwing her out of my arms when she was 6 months old, was a judge who held the illegal hearing, ordering me to hand her over within 5 days. And we had lived in Maine for like a year, and custody wasn't before the court. But they ordered me to hand her over anyways. And he was out on bail for vehicular manslaughter at the same time that they ordered me to fly to Maine and hand her over within 5 days. She had not known him and not been around him. When we finally got back home after about 4 months of fighting, we found out 9 months after getting home from her waking up 16 to 19 times a night that she had been molested by her dad. And he's very well off and well-to-do and has a lot of money, and he's never paid child support. He's never done anything, and it's pretty much in our case that the courts have held our abuser's hand the entire time. A restraining order was a joke. Cops would catch him red-handed in front of the house. It didn't mean anything. He was caught hiding in the back of cars from the cops, and it never mattered. And so the courts, like from day one, have just held his hand in continuing to abuse us. And every time we tried to turn for help or turn somebody in for doing something, nobody cared. And everybody says it's not their problem. We've written to the Attorney General. We've done everything, and they just keep saying it's not their problem. So
that's been our experience too, ma'am. Thank you so much for speaking to our camera.
Yeah, no problem. I just hope change comes for the kids, because You know, there's kids that die and there's kids that are still here and they just keep living with it. You know, some kids don't have to live with the torment every night through nightmares, and the ones who are still alive, they deal with the torment. And it's really sad because everybody suffers no matter what way it goes.
Thank you. Documentary.
Hey, yeah, I think you guys are doing a great job of being out here. It's definitely essential to the movement, and you know, we just got to keep building it up year after year after year until we have thousands of people out here. And you know, we're gonna get to the bottom of this family court thing, and you know, it's just gonna take some time. We knew that from the beginning, but you know, we have strong resolve, and we ain't gonna stop.
All right, Steve, let me get
I came to protest. I came about my own case, but I also came about all of the other cases that are out there, and to try and bring some accountability into the judicial system, because that's what it's really all about.
President, we need a moment of your time so that you can hear what is going on throughout the United States of America. There are children who are being handed to the abuser parent and end up in death, end up in sexual abuse. Hear us. We plead with you. Help us.
We're hoping that the United States Supreme Court and the
Only you can help. You will get our vote.
And if it can happen to us, it can happen to anyone. America, please wake up. Please hear our cries for help. We just want our children back.